Well, hello and welcome to another update about my Kawasaki KZ750 twin project. This is a Solstice update. It's a beautiful Solstice summer day. There's not a cloud in the sky, which is kind of unusual for about here, but we do get it sometimes. As you can see, we have a proper headlamp on it, full size. Tank has been painted green because it's registered as green. If you look closely, you'll see the brush marks. It's temporary. I'm not bothered what it looks like. I just want to get the thing on the road and usable. I've got a correct seat, which I got at quite a reasonable price actually. It was about the same price as buying a new cover. Unfortunately, somebody has fitted it to a different bike at some point. So that was the reason I got it at a reasonable price, because there's some holes and things been hacked in the bottom of it, and they haven't made a very good job of it either, but it still works. That's not a problem. I've got a good seat base anyway over here, as you've seen before, so I can make a complete good seat out of it. I've covered the number plate because it does happen, doesn't it? You do get cloned at times. I've got a black white number plate on it, and I've put a UK sticker on it as well, which I just thought made it look that little bit different. Totally legal too. Right, stage we're at. I've most of the wiring done, not the charging system, but I do have everything I need to do it. This coming week I'll just lock myself in the garage and I'll get the wiring finished off. I'll get the instruments mounted, and I will get it all tidied up, cable tied, the wiring loom wrapped, everything in the position so that there's nothing going to get burnt or shorted out. I've got the fuse box mounted there. I'll not worry about indicators at the moment. I'll get a flasher unit on there. I'm still wondering when I'm going to mount the regulator rectifier, but we'll get there. The speedometer cable was a little bit short, so I've spun it round and I put it there instead of underneath where it would have been. That's fine, actually works quite well there. There's plenty flex here for it to take the suspension movement. I'll get these mounted up there. I just want it usable. Got an ignition switch as well. Just want it usable. I don't like that top yoke. I got another top yoke here, which is a nice, doesn't have these bits protruding on the front and things, and it's parallel, not like that one that's on it. Unfortunately, there's about 4mm of a difference here, so it doesn't fit on. So what I think I might do, which I've done before with the rear caliper mount, it's obviously meant, the casting is obviously meant for several different types of bikes. It's a bigger disc on the rear than it would have been originally. This caliper mount, as you can see, there's plenty of meat at the bottom there. What I did was I plugged it with a piece of aluminium. By the way, this one, it was so worn out where the pads sit, I had to get another one, that's why I've still got this mod. And I offset bored it, and it gave me like 5 or 6mm more to get the pads lined up correctly on there. So I might do the same sort of thing with this. I need to be very accurate because I don't want any undue stresses on the yokes, that's no way. But I will measure it again. I think there's about 4mm of a difference there. If I plug that with a piece of aluminium and bore it slightly further forward, it should still clamp okay, and I much prefer that yoke. So I'll go to that. There's not much else to say really. It's getting there. The carburetors, it was kind of at idle. I couldn't get it to idle properly. It would rev up very readily, and you had to wind the idle right down, and then it would stall because it wasn't enough idle setting on it. So opened up the carbs, I gave it all a good clean, But what I noticed was the float setting was way too low. The fuel level was way too low. I don't know what's been going on with it. So I've set it to a little bit more than what it should be. It's like a millimetre or two higher. And it runs a lot better. What I'll do is, when I'm editing this video, I'll insert it sitting idling, warmed up, before I adjusted the float level. And then after you've seen that, I shall show the once I adjusted the float level. And it's much cleaner idling. It's I actually learned something. You hear, before I adjusted the float levels, a kind of popping occasionally on the exhaust sound. That's a lean mixture. I didn't know that. All my 40 something years of working with motorbikes, I didn't know that's what it was. But you can hear the difference. Also, if you're into these old parallel 360-degree twins, you probably quite like hearing the sound, old Bonneville's and things. I think it was Steve McQueen that said the Triumph Bonneville, I can't remember his exact wording, but basically he said it was the best sounding motorcycle ever. And that's not opinion, that's fact. So this is the same sort of setup. The engine sounds great. It's you can hear the cams working, and it's just, yeah, it's really good. But what it needs, bloody good blast, a blast through, or an Italian tune-up as some people call it. So I'm going to do that, because bikes just hate not being used. You know, you have to use carburetors and things and keep them going. So many bikes have problems. If you watch that, what's it, Superbike Surgery guy on YouTube, he's pretty good. But there's so many of the bikes he gets to work on, the problems with them are simply due to lack of use. You've got somebody that's got a summer Sunday use only crotch rocket, and you know, it's laid up all winter. There's dirty, horrible fuel in the carburetors. It just causes all sorts of mayhem. Believe me, this is going to be used. What I'll do at the end of this video, I have a rear video that I took that's picked up the sound nicely of my little run down to the local industrial estate. I'll just stick it on the end if you want to listen to it and watch it. You can do. That's it for the moment. Happy Solstice. I'm going to go and have some Solstice beverages. I was tempted to say ring out Solstice bells, but that's the wrong Solstice. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Happy Solstice. Black tortoiseshell. They're the worst kind. That's what the vet said. Black tortoiseshell. Oh, they're the worst kind. They're the worst ones. Oh, I didn't mean it personally. Yeah.